This is my first video tutorial to the public, so bear with me if it seems like I'm struggling a bit. What we're going to do today is create a redirect for a user when they log in, and this can be their first login, their 10th login, whatever you decide to put as the number. What we're going to do is use rules and the user stats module to count the number of logins and trigger the redirect. Essentially what we want is exactly this. When we click login, we want to be redirected to a page that shows that this is our first time logging in. If we log back out and log in again, we should remain on the home page, like so. So let's go ahead and reset the site. I'm going to, using the demonstration module, reset it to a default blank with modules installed. So let's do that. While that's going, I will show you where to get the user stats module. It's under drupal.org/projects/user stats, and we are going to utilize the login count. They have a post count, days since logged in, join date. You can create almost anything when it comes to using this with rules, but we're going to focus on the login count. So go ahead and install that module. Go ahead and do that as well. User stats, and we will also need to install the PHP filter. We're going to use PHP code to call the user stats count in rules, so you'll need that enabled as well. Oh, and if you also don't have rules enabled, you will need to enable rules. I already have rules enabled, so make sure you install rules as well, which is located under drupal.org/projects/rules. If you haven't used this, Node 1 has a great tutorial list that you can go through and figure out how to use rules. Today I'll show you all you need to do to make the login work properly. So let's save configuration. We're going to go to create content and just create the page that we will see when you log in. So let's go ahead and create a welcome page. Put some text in there, change this, and we're going to set the path so that we know exactly what the path is. Set it to welcome and save that node. Okay, now this is what we want to see when we log in. We're going to go to rules and go to triggered rules and add a new rule. This rule we're going to call user login welcome. And we're going to select the event as a user logs in, and this is located right here. User has logged in. Click save. So what we're going to do right now is just create the reaction, which is what it does once the user logs in. We won't worry about the conditions yet. So let's go to add an action, and we're going to go under system and do a page redirect. Now you could display a system message if you just wanted to show a message, but we're going to redirect them to the welcome page. So click next. Let's type in the path, which is welcome. And you want to check this box. If you have a community site set up where the first time they log in, or maybe they log in and they're sent to the same page they're viewing or a specific page, you want this to happen on their first or their nth number of logins. So we want to check that box. Click save. And let's test that. If we log in here, I'm redirected to that page. If I log out, log in again, I'm redirected to that page again. So it's working, it's sending us to the page, and what we want to do is we want to actually tell it to only send them to that page on their first login. So let's go back and let's add let's see, we're going to edit the rule and make sure that we have a truth condition. So we want a condition basically, and we want to see if the user has logged in before. So what we're going to do is go to add a condition, and we're going to create a truth value. So what we want is this value to, let me see, check if this is the first login. It's always a good idea to name these items so that you can track them easily. We're going to use PHP for this, and they show that we can access the account variable. We're going to access a different variable using a function. Just to show you how this works, if we have a 1 in the box and we save that condition, the user logs back in, they go to this page. Log out, log back in, still directed to this page. Log out. So let's go back and change that. It's going to change the condition from a 1 to a 0. 1 is true, or anything above 1 is true. 0 is false. So let's save that. So if the user is not the user's first login, redirect them to this page. Let's go back, log in, and we're still on the home page. We can try that again. We stay on the home page. So the goal is to make the variable in this box a 1, and what we have to do is figure out if the user has logged in before. So what we're going to do is use a function provided by the stats module, and let's go down. What they have is user gets stats, and then they have post count and the user ID. What we're going to do is we're going to replace post count with login count, and then the user ID with account user ID. Remember, in rules they have the option to use the account user. So the final code for that, where are my notes, looks like this. So we have print if user gets stats login count, and we're using the account ID, equals 1, then echo 1. If not, keep it blank. So if the user is if it is their first login, then we will print 1 in that box, which will enable the redirect. If not, nothing will appear in that box and the redirect will not work. So let's put that here and try that. Okay, so we're going to save this rule, and I already know what's going to happen, but I'm going to go here anyway and check this. So I have not reset the count, so of course when you log in and log out, you're not sent to that page. So let's go to the stats module and reset the count. Now I had to edit the module. There was an error. When you click reset all login counts, it was not resetting the count. In rules it was working, but this button was not working, so I will include that edit in my notes. And let's reset all logins. Let's go back here, log in again, and now we're sent to this page. We'll log back out and we'll log in again, and we're sent to this page again. So that's it. We're done. That is their first login. If you wanted to change that number to a higher number, you could do that, and all you would do is edit the rule and change this item to whatever number you'd like. So if you wanted to log in number 5, number 10, you'd put that, and that would change the login order and the rule. In the stats module, if you are good at fixing stuff yourself without looking at any notes, you can check the user_stats.admin.inc and edit line, what line is it? Line 182 of the development version, and change the user login count to login count. That's the only change I made in there in order to have it properly delete the records from the database. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments or go to my blog and comment below. Thank you.